People will use the fact that you're family to abuse your kindness.
Gaslight their children into forgetting about how they were treated as a child.
Do you know how hard it is to grieve somebody that's still alive?
I just watched a video that said, once a child has become an adult, parents no longer get to be the parent that they want to be to their child. They must be the parent that their child wants them to be to them. So let's talk about it. Most children are going no contact with their parents today for the simple fact that a lot of parents to gaslight their children into forgetting about how they were treated as a child. The podcast I just watched just said what was a regular Tuesday for you ended up being a day that I can never forget as a young adult. And it's the same day that I got to go to a therapist and speak about just to heal from. So what wasn't big to you because that was normal in your parenting routine became a trauma for me that I have to heal from as old. So simply put in my words, in today's time, the relationship has gone no contact. It's just the climax to a story of a narrative that parents created. Because again, remember, for some children, you were never allowed to speak up and to hold adults accountable for the things that they did wrong because that was deemed disrespectful. So you grew up to navigate through life being walked over, being mistreated, and being abused because those are the same patterns and the same things that were happening to you as a child, just by people who had no accountability.
And this is exactly where people miss the mark, especially with family, because no contact is usually not the beginning of the story. It is the climax, okay? A lot of us spent years being told that we were disrespectful for speaking up or that we had to forgive simply because that's still your parent. But eventually you become an adult and realize that I don't have to keep accepting the same treatment just because we are related. And sometimes the boundary is not the problem. The years of hurt that created the boundary are.
My grandmother showed up to my baby shower today after not seeing me in probably 10, 11 months, closer to a year. And I smiled, said, hey, and the very first thing she said was, I don't love you. And I know you're probably thinking she was just kidding. She was not just kidding. She was not kidding at all. In that moment, I actually thought like maybe I'm being like pranked. No, I wasn't. I was like, excuse me? Like, huh? She repeated it that she did not love me. She went down a list of some other stuff. Like I said, we haven't talked. Whenever I try to establish a relationship with my mother, which is her daughter, our relationship always falls apart. Meaning, I cannot talk to my biological mother and have a relationship with my grandmother, which is her mother, because those two don't even like each other, right? And I tried to mend the relationship with my mom last year, and my grandmother fell off the face of the earth. She was being very passive aggressive, and we just kind of both stopped talking. Wasn't an argument, but it was the same old of, if you talk to your mother, basically don't talk to me. And that's what happened. But as I was talking to my uncle's wife today, just kind of came up in conversation about my grandmother. And I was like, I wouldn't mind if she was here. I wouldn't even care. Today's a day of love, right? And I guess to surprise me, my uncle's wife, she did reach out to her and basically let her know, like, hey, do you want to come up here? And she came with nothing, no gifts, nothing at all, not even a card, and literally told me to my face that she did not love me. I didn't initially cry. It probably took about 15 minutes before I actually cried about it at my baby shower. Not very fun. There were so many people there, and it was just not something that I wanted to do. So I quickly pulled myself together. But today just made me realize it didn't ruin my day. She did not ruin my day. She did not ruin my day. Let me make that very clear. I did not let her have my moment today. But I will say that today was like the realization of like, you know, my mother's side of the family is a certain kind of way. There's nothing I can do about it. And I was the one, I'm the one that is meant to break that curse. I cannot fix anybody that has any problems on that side of my family. I cannot fix them. I can try to do as much healing as I want to. That's only for myself. It doesn't do anything for that side of the family. And I'm not speaking about everybody on that side of the family, but unfortunately, I really don't have much support. Like, my uncle came. Like, that was the person that came for me from my mother's side of the family, which is my mother's little brother and his wife. So I really appreciate that. I love my uncle so much. But a majority of the people at my baby shower, outside of my father's family, like my aunts and my cousins, which love them dearly, it was for my husband. Those were my husband's family members, whom I love dearly, and a lot of his mother's friends. And they showed out. I'm so thankful for them. But some people will never change. And it doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter even if they're in their 70s. Doesn't matter how much they go to church. Doesn't matter how active in church they are. This is who they are, and they will not change. If you have a family member that is toxic like that, mother, grandmother, move on. Move on. I still can't believe that the first thing she said out her mouth was, "I don't love you." Not congratulations, not "I'm happy to see you." She wanted to let me know. She wanted to ruin my day. Is to let me know, I'm here, I just came, but I came to tell you that I don't love you. Didn't want to eat any food, didn't want to talk to anybody. Extremely nasty. And she ended up leaving after my husband had a few choice words for her. Still can't believe it, but it did not ruin my day. But I now know that, like, that is what it is. That'll probably be the last words that I ever hear from my grandmother, that I'll remember, is that she doesn't love me. Cool.
That's still your mama. You only get one mama. What you gonna do when she dead and go? Shut the fuck up. When you have a narcissist for a mom, do you know how hard it is to grieve somebody that's still alive? Like, we had to come to the realization that this shit ain't gonna change. Do you know it took multiple tries, I call it relapsing, because that's what we was doing, relapsing, going back thinking and hoping that this motherfucker gonna change and shit gonna get better, and it never do. No, they just fucking pretend a little better and then come back with the bullshit. Bullshit again. I'm not motherfucking minimizing my trauma for nobody. You not finna tell me that's still my mama. Bitch, I'm still her daughter. And me being a parent, I could never imagine me not reaching out to my children and wanting to be better as a mom or correcting anything that they feel is wrong. You're not finna do that to me. You finna get cut off too, matter of fact. Thanks, goodbye, fuck you.
People will use the fact that you're family to abuse your kindness and to take advantage of you. Guys, be very careful of such family members. Just because someone is your family doesn't mean that they have the right to exploit your kindness or to take advantage of you. And I had to learn this the hard way, that just because someone is your family doesn't mean that they are entitled to your help. I have found myself going above and beyond for certain family members who are not doing the same for me, and in the end it backfired on me. And it usually takes a while to realize that you're being taken advantage of. And once you sit back and contemplate on such interactions, you realize that support yako is always expected and not appreciated. It's as if you have to do something for this person just because you guys are family. And to be honest, in some situations, I felt some sort of guilt for prioritizing myself, because I thought to myself, you know what, I'm in a position to help this person, so why don't I just help them? Until I clocked that, no man, this person doesn't appreciate anything that I do for them. Everything that I do is expected just because we are family. And these are the same family members that only contact you when they need something. When their life is going good, when everything is going great, you never hear from them. Then suddenly, when there's a financial emergency or a family emergency of some kind, you're the first person that they contact, even though they can go months without speaking to you. And I realized that in certain families, we have normalized carrying other people's burdens. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with helping your family members when they are in need, but it's all about reciprocation. If you can't depend on those people for whatever help that you may need, then to be honest, they shouldn't be coming to you for help, because there are literally people here who know zero about reciprocation. All they do is take and take from people. And that's why I told myself it's about time that I start setting boundaries with certain family members, because I am not going to let anyone take advantage of me that way. It took a while for me to get to this point where I'm at right now, because I had to teach myself that just because I'm refusing to help this person for certain reasons doesn't mean that I love them any less. I'm just respecting myself and respecting my boundaries. So, Betuna, stop letting certain family members take advantage of you, all in the name of we are family. Set boundaries, stick to them, respect your boundaries, and help those who help you, whether it's emotionally, financially, whatever the case may be. But show up for people who show up for you. Let's stop overextending ourselves to people who know nothing about reciprocation, all in the name of we are family.
You know, if there's one topic I feel like we really do not talk about enough on this app, it's family. And when I say family, I mean immediate family, siblings. So I'm not even talking about relatives, because uncles, aunties, cousins, those are relatives to me. But immediate family, if you're not a married person, if you're single, immediate families are your siblings and your parents. But if you're a married person, your immediate family is your partner and your children. I always say that to people. My children are my immediate family. Now, my siblings are my relatives, because that's my primary family now, my children. So, anyways, that aside, if there's one thing we do not talk about enough on here, is toxic siblings and the way we have been conditioned to love them unconditionally, even if they are bad for us, even if they are not good for us. We should love them unconditionally, most especially we Africans. I think we are the ones that fall into this category the most. I'm not sure about Asians or Arabs, because I really am not in their culture, so I can't speak. But I feel like Africans, this is something we were raised with. Like, oh, love your brother unconditionally. He's your brother no matter what. She's your sister no matter what. I debunked that. I always say something to my children. If your sister is so toxic to you that she could affect your mental health and ruin you, cut her off. Vice versa to my daughter as well. If your brother is going to be so toxic that he's going to ruin your mental health, cut him off. I gave birth to all of my children. So I am that person as well. If I have a particular sibling that I know this sibling is not good for me, you're going to get out of my life. I don't care. Because we have been programmed, and then these family members, they weigh us down. They literally weigh us down. They could weigh us down mentally, emotionally, financially. That's another part that we don't talk about. Like, you have a particular sibling, refuse to work, refuse to get a job, refuse to do anything with their lives because, oh, my sister is going to be giving me money. Oh, my sister is going to be sending my children to school and pay for my children's school fees. Oh, my brother is going to be... No. I'm standing in front of you today. I am not going to be. I am actually not like that. If you're my sibling and you're toxic, you're going. And if I am the toxic one too, cut me off. So yeah, we don't talk about this enough on this app because we have been conditioned to love our families unconditionally. Now, my own love get conditioned. I'll cut you off.
A major misconception in the Black family is that when somebody abuses you physically, mentally, verbally, I mean, whatever it may be, you must forgive them and allow them back into your life for the sake of family and reuniting, and you only have one mother, auntie, sister, cousin, brother, and whatever else. But my problem doesn't lie with the forgiveness part. I really do believe that forgiveness is more for yourself, and it's also something that God commands us to do. So I'm 100% for forgiveness, but the problem is really when you have to accept someone's pattern and almost feeding into their delusions. In a way, it's enabling their toxic behaviors because we're family and you must accept one another and love one another. This is where I'm different. I am not going to allow you to do the same thing over a period of time for the sake of let's reconcile and let's be family, let's be close. It will be foolish of me to consistently allow you to do the same thing that you have always done when it's draining and whatever else this person may do to you. Especially if you try to have conversations with these people and to get them to hear your side and they don't hear you, I don't see the purpose. I don't see the point. I feel like it's draining. I feel like it's pointless just to say that we're family. So does that mean family must equal enabling toxic behaviors? At what point are we going to free ourselves from the behaviors? When are we going to hold each other accountable? That's really what we need to talk about. Accountability is something that all families need to have. If someone is doing something that is abusing someone verbally, mentally, physically, someone needs to stand up and say, no, that this is enough. You need to separate yourself, and it's okay to do so. You do not have to allow someone to be in your life and continuously mistreat you in any type of way for the sake of, oh, we're family though.
I'm truly in my era of loving them from a distance, forgiving you 70 times 7, and loving you while you're over there. And I'm protecting my peace and my sanity because I'm not going to allow your toxic behaviors to infiltrate what I have going on. And until you have shown that you have grown and learned, and even if you never get there, we need to just peacefully disagree and peacefully separate. And I feel like families really, I think it'll save so much family drama. You ever been to like family events where like everybody's just exploding? It would save those moments if we only remembered it's okay for everyone to not be super tight. We're called to love one another, but I don't have to like you.
Another thing that we need to talk about is how families will expect you to accept someone's toxic behavior simply because they are family. If someone is emotionally, mentally, or even physically abusive towards you, you are expected to just forgive them, move on, and accept it because, oh, that's just how they are. And a lot of families will protect the abuser instead of protecting the person who's being hurt. They would rather maintain an image than hold somebody accountable for the damage they are causing.
Oh, and let's start holding people accountable in the family. The ones that start drama, the ones that you know is the problem, the ones that's always doing shicey stuff. Let's start holding them accountable. I'm so sick of people in the family never want to address the person in the family that's causing all the drama and sweeping stuff under the rug. I cannot stand a sweep everything under the rug as family. I'm sorry. Y'all need to start addressing these people, letting them know like you are doing this wrong, that's wrong. Stop treating people like that. Stop doing your family like that. Hold them accountable to the messed up stuff they do to people. I don't know what that's about. I'm pretty sure almost everybody got that person in the family that nobody wants to check. Nobody wants to hold accountable. Nobody wants to talk to, give advice to, nothing. They just let the person do whatever the hell they want to do to everybody. And because we're family, it is what it is. No, hold that person accountable. Hold them accountable and let them know that shit cannot fly. Like all the negative stuff that happens in families, I can't stand when people act like they're blind to what's really going on. And because they're family, they want everybody just to get along, act like they don't know, act like they didn't see that, and just get over whatever the hell happens. No, start holding them people accountable, period.
And I think another trait of toxic families is the lack of accountability. They don't want to have difficult conversations. They don't want to acknowledge when someone is wrong. And they definitely don't want to be held accountable. And honestly, that can become so exhausting. Sometimes you have to create some level of distance, whether that's spending less time around your family or simply being mindful of what you allow around you. Because nobody wants to reach the point where they feel like they can't be around their own family. But sometimes protecting your peace means creating that distance.
When abuse happens within a family system, family members are so quick to defend the abuser over the victim. If you are the victim and someone who abused you was an uncle, a brother, a dad, a mom, and you speak up about it loudly, you're the one that's gonna get punished by your other family members after. It's actually so crazy because it's like, they'll allow abuse happen as long as it's done by someone within the family. If I said the things that my brother did to me my entire life and said it was just a rando on the street, a random guy that wasn't in the family, my family, of course, would have been the first to stand up, protect me, go and find justice for me, go to court. But because my abuser was in my family and I speak up about it, I'm the villain. Because dirty laundry has to be washed at home. Roupa suja lava em casa. Absolutely not. Not with me. Because that rhetoric of not speaking about family issues outside of the family is exactly what enabled the abuse that I went through to go on for so long. That is a rhetoric that protects abusers. I do not hold responsibility over my abuser's reputation being tarnished over his own actions. If you don't like to hear me talk about my reality and what I lived through, then maybe you shouldn't have done what you did to me. Me talking about it is literally the most basic right I have. I wish that when social services came to my house when I was 17 years old, that I didn't lie to protect my brother because I was told to by my parents. Because up until that point, I had already suffered so much. And honestly, the least that could have happened was him to serve a little bit of jail time for all the shit, the lifetime, the prison that I grew up in, having to share a home with that dude. So, no, I am angry about it. I'm going to talk about it however long I fucking want. And this is to say that, yeah, as a victim, you really need to be ready to have family members literally protect your abuser. Do things that if it were just a stranger, then it would be serious. But if it's you're talking about the abuse that someone in your family committed against you, then you just can't let go of the past. Then you're holding a grudge. Why don't you just forgive? The blame is going to be put on you, especially as a woman.
Everything changed for me once I realized that the family that I came from was only responsible for bringing me earthside. After that, it's just about me. I don't have to keep them in my life. Clutch my pearls.
Well, my point is, people don't just wake up one day and decide to go no contact with their family. There are usually years and years of hurt, pain, disappointment, and forgiveness that led them to that decision. And sometimes it's not just one incident, it's the fact that the same toxic or abusive patterns continue to happen, and the family keeps expecting you to tolerate them simply because they're family. And if the entire family is protecting that behavior, sometimes you have to remove yourself from the entire environment, because there are families that will genuinely tell you to just endure the pain and move on. They don't believe in counseling, they don't believe in therapy, and they don't believe in addressing the problem, because our parents did the same thing to us and we turned out fine. But why should you have to endure the same pain simply because they did? And honestly, whenever I meet someone who has chosen to go no contact with their family, I don't judge them. You don't know what that person experienced behind closed doors. You don't know how many times they forgave, how many times they tried, or how much their family covered up. So sometimes you have to choose yourself, choose your mental health, choose the life that you want to live. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. You don't live it to please your family. You don't live it to please everyone around you. You live it for yourself and for God. And if protecting your peace means creating distance or even going no contact, then sometimes that's exactly what you have to do. Thank you guys so much for making it this far into the video. Let me know what you think about today's topic, because I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts and perspectives. I also want to take a moment to thank you guys so much for the engagement on the channel. I recently started making videos like this with this new format, and honestly, they are doing so much better than I expected. I really didn't know if you guys would tune in, enjoy the videos, but so many of you have been watching, liking, commenting, and engaging with these new videos. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much, and God bless you.